So the first thing I often bring to students is why Canada? You have a lot of options of where you can study, whether it's the US, the UK, Australia. Why should you be looking at Canada? And Canada right now is probably one of the most, if not the most popular destination for international students for about three reasons. Number one, it's the quality of education. 98% of the universities in Canada are publicly funded universities regulated by the government, which is important because you want to have your degree recognized, not just in Canada when you graduate, but of course globally. The second reason is Canada is ranked as one of the best places in the world to live by the United Nations. I think it was actually ranked number one again last year. It's a very multicultural country. It's very safe. And it's certainly somewhere I think that if you are looking to come for your education or to send your children for their education, it offers a great experience for that. And the last thing, of course, is the cost. The cost of education in Canada overall as an international student is not going to be cheap, but compared to the US, the United Kingdom, Australia, it's very, very affordable. And I guess the fourth thing is immigration options. Canada, more than any other country, has attached immigration to education so that if you are looking to come to Canada, but also stay and have an opportunity for permanent residence and citizenship afterward, there's a lot of opportunities for that. In terms of where you'll be studying, we're located in the province of Nova Scotia and specifically Cape Breton Island, which is a part of Nova Scotia. We're on the far east coast, only about a 2-hour flight from New York City in the United States, or about a 2-hour flight from Toronto, our largest city. Nova Scotia is a smaller province. We're only about 1 million people, but most people do come here because it's very relaxed. We have some of the best golf courses in the country, beach resorts, ski resorts, as well as whale watching, and certainly some very unique nature. We do have two major airports. You can fly directly from Toronto. We have everything you would expect from a major city, a lot of bars, restaurants, cafes, shops, the mall. The cost of living is much lower than other parts of Canada, but it's not 5 million people or somewhere like Davao or Cebu or Manila. So if you're looking for somewhere that's safe, but also very relaxed, this is what we have for you. In terms of the weather and the climate, it is going to be very different than the Philippines, but it is actually the warmest province in Canada. Because we are surrounded by water on three sides, we stay relatively warm in the winter and fairly warm in the summer. But I think the important thing there to consider is that it's still a northern country. We do get cold, and winter does last about 3 months. But we are certainly built for the cold weather, and you'll be fine. Everyone gets used to it. In terms of the university, we are a smaller university. We're only about 6,000 students, but we do have over 2,500 students from 56 different countries. At the moment, we have just over 100 students from the Philippines studying with us, but we do have a lot of students studying from France, Germany, the United Kingdom, Latin America, Africa, and of course, other parts of Asia. So you do get the best of both worlds. You certainly will have a wide variety of students from the Philippines studying with you, but also a lot of Canadian and American students as well. Now, in terms of the study options, I would say almost all of our Philippine students are coming for postgraduate programs. These are programs that require that you already have a university degree. Because we do have over 100 programs, I'm going to focus on these programs mainly. But if you do have a question about undergraduate programs, or if you're a student just graduating from high school, we can definitely talk about public university, which means that you are able to work part-time while you study and full-time on scheduled breaks. But you're also eligible to apply for a 3-year postgraduate work permit after you graduate. We want you to stay in Canada when you graduate. Because you're studying in Nova Scotia and not Ontario, not Alberta or British Columbia, if you stay in Nova Scotia, you'll also have a number of options for permanent residence within 6 months to a year. This is significantly shorter than other parts of Canada, like Ontario. That can be upwards of 5 years, okay? In terms of calculating your tuition, we'll talk about that in more detail, but please know that calculation of tuition is based on how many subjects you take each semester. So if you're taking 3 subjects and your close friend is taking, say, 5 subjects, you're going to pay a little bit less than your friend, but you're going to have to go for more semesters. So in the end, you both end up paying the same, but just how it's paid is going to be slightly different. Now, Shannon School of Business. The Philippines, of course, has a very popular tourism destination, probably one of the most famous in the world. We have one of the oldest tourism programs in Canada that's offered as a 3-year undergraduate program, or if you already have a tourism qualification in the Philippines, you can transfer into our program for year 2 and finish it within 2 years instead of 3. This has been very popular for students that already have a background in hospitality, but it's also been great because you get to earn while you learn. There are 2 required internships that you must do, and they pay about 10,000 Canadian dollars overall, because you have to work almost 1,100 hours. So if you're coming from a hospitality background, we have a lot of employers in the cruise ship industry here, hotels, restaurants that are looking to hire you. The most popular programs in the Philippines are our 2-year post-baccalaureate diplomas. These are higher than a bachelor's degree, but less than a master's program. These are done over 4 semesters in 2 years. So because you've done the 2 years, you will be eligible to apply for a 3-year postgraduate work permit. The way it works is that the first 3 semesters are in class, and if you're getting at least a 70% average, you're able to do either a work term, an internship, or a capstone research project. If you don't have the 70%, unfortunately, you will have to only do the capstone research project. The work term will not be an option. And you do either or, you don't do both. So if you're doing the internship, you don't do the work project. The price point for these programs is excellent, by the way. It's 27,000 Canadian dollars for the entire program. That's 17,000 Canadian dollars in year 1, which is about 11,000 American dollars, and 10,000 in year 2, 10,000 Canadian. So what costs the entire 2 years is what 1 year or even a semester in Australia will cost you. So it's very competitive. We do have 4 streams of this program: supply chain management, business analytics, and a very popular one in Philippines, public health management. These are programs that are designed for students that already have a business degree or an engineering degree, a nursing degree, a pharmacy degree. You do not have to be coming from a business program, but we do require you to have at least a 70% Canadian average. This overall average in your undergraduate is going to be, if you're on the 5-point scale, between a 1 and a 2. If you don't have a minimum between 1 and 2 on the 5-point scale, 1 being the best, it will be difficult to apply. Sorry, let me straighten this out here. For the business analytics program, we do also require that you have maths and statistics. So usually business analytics applicants are coming from a finance or statistics background. And for the public health management program, this is not science-based. This is extremely popular and a very, very in-demand program in Canada now. And we have a lot of great Philippine students applying for this. So I strongly recommend that. Next is going to be our epidemiology and public health program. Obviously, since this pandemic has started, we've had a huge discussion globally about the importance of public health, how to prevent the spread of disease through water, air, food. And we're actually one of the only universities in Canada that offers a public health program in epidemiology. If you're a student in the Philippines that already has a science-related degree, nursing, pharmacy, biology, chemistry, you are eligible to apply for this 2-year post-degree option. We will recognize that you are already a science graduate, and we will actually give you entrance into year 3. I do want to note this is a bachelor's degree, and a lot of students will ask, why would I want to do a second bachelor's degree? Well, the thing is, in Canada, if you want to work in public health or in the healthcare industry, particularly in a very accredited, regulated industry like epidemiology, it's difficult to do this with a foreign qualification. So this way, you're getting the national certification, you're getting the degree within 2 years instead of 4. And my goodness, there will be a lot of jobs across Canada for you that pay very well. This is a program I think that, again, if you're looking for something more science-based with a lot of lab work, if you're coming with microbiology, we do need a microbiology subject in your undergraduate degree for this. This is for you. If you're looking more at management, if you're looking more at working in some kind of administrative capacity in a hospital or the healthcare industry, I would look at the public healthcare management post-baccalaureate diploma. Okay? Those are really the 5 most popular programs for the Philippines. We have undergraduate engineering and business degrees. If you do want to chat about those, let me know. But again, we expect a huge uptake in all of these programs very soon. In terms of the campus facilities, we have a lot of campus facilities available for you. We're here to support you academically. It's all free of charge for our counseling services. We have a free orientation session whereby we'll pick you up at the airport. We'll help you get a bank card. We'll help you get a mobile phone, find your apartment. As well, if you need any immigration services after you graduate for permanent residence or renewing your study permit, we can absolutely help you with that. We want to make sure that the minute you arrive at the airport to the day that you graduate, you are supported by the university. In terms of a vibrant campus life, we have a wide variety of students. Nova Scotia is overwhelmingly a very Catholic province. So Christmas and Easter are our 2 biggest holidays where you'll have time off. But we also have a lot of Caribbean students and African students. This is a photo of our Afro-Caribbean week. We have Lunar New Year and Chinese New Year for our Vietnamese and Chinese students, Diwali for our Indian students. So there's always something happening. In terms of sports and athletics, I know Filipinos are very big into basketball. We have 5 basketball courts, tennis courts, badminton courts. We have a full gym, 2 football pitches, 1 indoor, 1 outdoor, and a full gym, all free of charge for you to use as you wish. Now, in terms of applying to Cape Breton University, this university is actually pretty straightforward. We would need a scanned copy of your documents, so your transcripts from university or high school, your completion of your degree, as well as a scanned copy of your passport. Once all the documents are received, which is done by applying online and then uploading them, it usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks to process your application. We do have 3 intakes a year, September, January, and May, with September and January being the 2 big ones, and September a little bit smaller. Realistically, I tell students, apply about 3 months before your intended intake. So if you're looking to start in September, apply by July. If you're looking to start in January, apply by October. If you're looking to come in May, apply by February, March. We do normally have an 80 Canadian dollar application fee. I know a lot of you are very curious about the IELTS exam. The Philippines is one of the only Asian countries where we do not require students to have an IELTS or a language score. We identify the Philippines as an English-speaking country. It's certainly a place where education is taught in English, so we recognize that experience and do not require an IELTS score. If you are planning to apply through the Study Direct Stream application for the visa though, you should, and actually you must have an IELTS score of 6.0, no band less than 6. Okay? I always encourage students to have an IELTS score. It really helps with your visa application. And if for some reason, I must say this, if you apply for a Cape Breton University with medium of English as the requirement, but you also submit an IELTS score less than 6.5, no band less than 6, admissions must default to the IELTS score, and you will be required to submit a higher score. So if you're applying from the Philippines to our university, simply do not send in that IELTS score. In terms of the accommodation, we have beautiful on-campus accommodation. Generally, the cost of living in Canada for 1 year in Nova Scotia with accommodation and a meal plan is 12,000 Canadian dollars. Many of our Philippine students choose to live off campus because they can find a more affordable accommodation if they share. Or if you're coming with your wife and children, it makes more sense to live off campus. But generally speaking, if you're a student living on campus, I would budget 12,000 Canadian dollars for 1 full year, plus another $10,000 for the tuition in year 2 of the post-bac and 17,000 for year 1. So about, give or take, $27,000 to $30,000 for 1 full year. Once you are accepted to Cape Breton University, you must schedule academic advising. In your acceptance package, you're going to get a long list of things that you need to do next, like register your CBU email address. Once you're accepted, we stop sending information to your email on the application, and it then goes to your CBU email. Once you've done that, you then must schedule academic advising. No student, whether Canadian or from elsewhere, is able to register for classes in year 1 without speaking with a faculty member or an advisor, because you have no reason to know what subjects you must register for. So if you try and register without being academically advised, it will not be possible. But you'll see all of this in your acceptance package, the steps to register your email and how to schedule academic advising. Once that's done, you're going to need to apply for your visa, and you should submit the first year tuition fee. You can submit whatever amount you want. You can submit the first semester, but I strongly advise you to submit the full year 1. This is what the Canadian Embassy is looking for. If you submit less than this, you have a much higher chance of visa rejection, okay? So if you are a legitimate student, save yourself the trouble. I know it's a lot of money, but $17,000 upfront, it will save you a lot of time and trouble. If you don't get the visa, we will absolutely return this to you through the banking portal. But you will see all the details of this in the acceptance package. In terms of that